Everybody for coming out, family, friends. It's for your daughter and friends to do something like this is, it's real. I mean, it's a lot of love shown, and I'm thankful for that. You know, um, as I was sitting there and I was listening to a lot of things being said, I thought about on my life journey, how I grew up, because at the different stages of everybody's life, there's different things that maybe someone can pick up something from this, But growing up in the farmlands of the San Joaquin Valley, and I was just a kid that wanted to please my parents, wanted to do good, My father was a real hard man, and I knew that when I raised my family, I didn't want to be as hard as my father was on my family. As a result of that, I feel like I had three childhoods. My own childhood, then Sean and Cece, their childhood and all the things that we did. And then 10, 11 years later, I had three more boys by the same wife. And then their things. So I was talking to somebody, I was talking to someone tonight, I said, and they were talking about kids. I said, well, you got X right now. Just go ahead, raise these, and then you and your wife can have fun after that, But with me, I raised kids for 30 years.
Yes, you did.
Because by the time two of them were in college, I had 5 and up coming up. So I had to start all over again. But all in all, it was great. I was always known as the dad of the neighborhood. I have a lot of those kids, they still contact me, or they recognize my voice, and they ask, are you Mr. Tarver? All of those kind of things. And it's great when you work with kids and they see you again and they don't turn and go the other way. They come to you.
Amen.
It says something was right. Say something like, you changed my life. I said,
Amen.
I don't know. And I asked myself, well, what happened? Well, how did I do this? But many times, in those huddles or after practice, there's all kind of craziness stuff going on. And when you deal with that and you talk common sense about that, then I think a lot of times when those young men were about to do something they weren't supposed to do, they heard that little voice.
Yeah.
Okay? Because, I know that my father was a hard man. My mother was a very loving woman. And I hear her voice in many of the decisions and things that I do. If I growing up, if I did something I wasn't supposed to do, I thought about it. And I was ready to suffer the consequences, negative or positive, if it didn't work out right. But I thought about it. And many times, I decided to go the right way. But sometimes I decided to just do it.
Right?
So, but a little background on how I grew up. My family was the only black family in the school district. And so my friends were white friends, okay? And then when I remember once my mother went to a revival on like Martin Luther King Boulevard, but it wasn't named Martin Luther King Boulevard then. And I got enough nerve to go across the street and get a hamburger. And it was like black guys walking around with their shirts off, and they had the hairdo and stuff. I got over there and ordered me a hamburger. I was scared and excited at the same time. Then I met some brothers at the church. They walk cooler than I walk. They talk cooler than I talk. They had stories to tell. I didn't, And I found a lot of it was BS, But as I grew up, I had to find myself, I had to find myself. And I did, you know. I took what I liked about the brothers, and then that part that I thought was BS, I threw it out, you know. And I had a football coach, and if you worked hard, he would reward you for working hard.
Yeah.
And I picked up on that philosophy with being fair and letting people, the rules being for the best person on the team as well as the worst person on the team. And I found that if the best paid player on the team screwed up, then the guys playing behind, he knows that, well, if he screws up, well, Coach Tarver's going to bench him, and I get to play. And it keeps people motivated. It keeps the team motivated. And you make your practices exciting and stuff where they're always learning something, and they work hard for you, you know, because it's not like, okay, I learned it all, because there's always something else to know. And what's beautiful as a coach is when you see this thing you've been rehearsing in practice develop in a game, and then all your little boys, boom, they're in it, boy. And all of a sudden that other team find themselves in a pickle, you know. And but it's really beautiful when you see that. And not only is it beautiful to me, it's beautiful to the parents and the kids themselves. They get pumped on it because now they saw it work, and they open up to other things that you have to learn. So, but CC had mentioned something about the college all-star game. The college all-star game, they don't have that anymore, but the college coach that wins the national championship used to be able to pick his college all-stars from all the seniors in the nation. And they would play the world champions. It would be the first NFL game of the season. It would be held in Soldier Field. But the college, if you were selected on that team, if you hadn't signed your contract, you didn't have to play, but you couldn't play with your team. If you had signed your contract, you didn't have to play during the game, but you still had to be with the all-star team in Chicago for 3 weeks while everybody else is in training camp practicing. Because that's going to be the first game of the year, and it's going to be, it was on Soldiers Field, and it would play whoever the Super Bowl champion was that year. And in 1972, the Super Bowl, Dallas won the Super Bowl. They had Dwayne Thomas and those guys. Okay, and they talked about my high school coach stepping up, paying me $15 a week, which now it was actually it would be a violation. Okay, okay, probation. Okay, but when I was with New England, and my offensive backfield coach comes to me. He says, "Kay Dalton's coming to town." Well, Kay Dalton was my offensive backfield coach at the University of Colorado. He says, "That man was in your corner." I was down at a coaches convention in Miami, and he pulled me to the side and said, "Don't listen to that stuff you hear about Tarver. He's a good kid." He said, he's a good kid. And that's why New England took a chance on me in the 7th round.
Wow. Wow.
During that era, the Kent State era, there were quite a few boycotts for stacking, putting black players in the same position, or just not playing them, or the mustache, hair, all this kind of stuff, all kind of things. Okay, there were boycotts. A lot of those guys that led those boycotts were blackballed, lost their college scholarship. You know, at our school, the white dudes on our team pooled with us, and they said, "Hey, we'll all boycott." And so everything changed. Nobody lost their scholarship or anything.
Wow.
I was projected to go in the 1st round, and I didn't go to the 7th round. I remember that night, and they probably should do a story on this, you know. On draft day, it's real hard for ball players, because if you think you're going to go get drafted, and 1st round goes by, 2nd round goes by, 3rd round, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, because I got married in college, I told my wife, I said, let's go get a bottle of wine. So we went and got a bottle of wine, came back home, and I'd given up. I said, I'm not going to get drafted. I'm blackballed.
Oh.
And I get this phone call. And it was the Patriots. And I was accepted. Now, I didn't go to any of the other bowl games in the sea that year. I didn't go to any of those other college bowl games, like the Blue-Gray Bowl game for seniors, the Senior Bowl for seniors. But some kind of way I ended up in the biggest one in the country.
Wow.
Right.
Woo!
And see, the reason I didn't go was because of the label. Kaepernick, when he did what he did, okay, I told a very good friend of mine, I said, he's going about it the wrong way. They're going to blackball. And this person said, oh no, he's got this and this and this and this group behind him. I said, he should be thinking about his family. He's going about it the wrong way, okay? And I said, in 3 years, he'll be out the league. He was out the league in 1 year. And he's better than 50% of the quarterbacks in the league right now. And I guarantee you, the NFL won't say that they had a meeting, but they had a meeting. And they would have to have another meeting to turn it around, to open the door to let him back in. Because he's better than a lot of course. When I saw one night, I saw Derek Anderson had been he must be 39, and he'd never been successful. I saw him playing out there the other night. Somebody got hurt, you know. So that's the way things are. There's another. If they did a trivia question, I'm probably the first player in the league, in the NFL, to get into the league after leading a boycott. My daughter called me, and she was talking about this last night and stuff, and so she asked me. We talked about bringing a couple of pictures. The black and white picture on the wall over there. If you look at that picture real close, both feet are off the ground. The shoestrings are going one way. The towel's going one way. My fists are pumped. And there's an old school collar on. They say you can't lead with your helmet. I'm leading with my helmet, and I'm getting ready to launch into that guy, and I'm gonna lead with my helmet. And as soon as I make contact with my helmet, I'm gonna punch, which will get my butt underneath me, and that means your legs are under. And then I drive my helmet right up to his chin, and I get the chance to look at him on his back.
That's illegal now.
All of that I call that picture total illegal because you can't play the game like that anymore. It's against the rules. I was in the airport and I saw these brothers, a lot of guys, and they looked like, I thought, is there some kind of convention I missed or something? And they were with the church group, but there were a lot of football players. And I was telling him about that. He said, oh man, you'd be fined to death right now. They fine you all over. They kick you out the league for that. So, the game has changed a lot, and a lot of people helped me along the way. And a lot of those people that helped me along the way were white people. And I grew up with white people, and so it gave me a look on life. It gave me a look on life where I tried to. It didn't matter. I don't care about color. I just care about character.
Amen.
That's it. That's it.
We would know character.
When it really gets down to it, the people that really care about you are the people that are really important to you aren't that many. The people that are going to be for you, they're for you. The things that a person do and don't do tell you how they feel about you. And if you can utilize that for your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your teacher, your lawyer, then it's going to save you a lot of heartache. So, once again, I just want to say When's the band coming up here?
Oh, they're coming back. They're coming right back. Yeah, they're coming back.
Be ready for the band.
I'll tell you guys a football story, okay? There was a guy, you guys heard of Dick Buckus?
Yeah.
All right. I'm in my second or third year, and we play in Chicago, and Plunk is the quarterback, and he's got this one play, and it's me and Buckus. My job is to move Buckus out the way, and I'm blasting him, and I'm winning this battle. Now, to back it up just a little bit, when I was a college all-star, Buckus was on TV, and he says, I dream about hitting a back so hard till I decapitate him, and his head goes da-dum, 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 all the way down the stadium floor, okay? So I said, I'm 6'3", 220. Buckus is 6'3", or 6'4", 240. Okay, we're about to, but I got a 5-yard run. And so we were going to play the Dallas Cowboys, but we had a scrimmage with the Chicago Bears, which Buckus was with the Bears. Well, he was this big superstar. They didn't let him play. But I got myself mentally ready for Buckus. And so when he didn't play, I was disappointed, but their backup was named a guy named Buffoon. And my first time on that first play that they had an isolation block, boom, I blasted Buffoon, and the whole bench went up because I just, Well, 2 years later, I had a chance to play Buckus, and I'm beating Buckus. And Buckus is patting his guys. He had a real nasty mouth. He's patting his guys on the bus. Come on, guys, they got to stop now. They got to stop. He's really trying to motivate his defense. We're down on the 5-yard line. And Buckus had been coming into this hole. If that camera, it was Buckus, he was coming just like this, out, square, and I was blasting him right here. If the camera was me, I was blasting him right there. And so, what he did was something with, I would say, age and experience. He knew he was beaten. I was beating him. We were on the 5. His back is against the wall. So he steps in the hole, and he's straight up like this. He's straight up like this. Well, to me, that's out of position. So if I hit him, then I know I'm going to put him on his back before 70,000 people in Soldier Stadium. And that'd be a big rush to put buckets on his back. Okay. But what he did, he set up like this, and then he wound one arm and came in like this. He came in like this, okay? So my helmet didn't hit him right here. My helmet went right by. And when I punch, I only hook one arm. So I go around in a circle in the air. He goes in the dirt. I feel my shoulder pop. And it was right before halftime. And so Plunkett calls the same play again. Okay. So I go in, all I can do is spear him now because I can't get my shoulder up. And we go into halftime. They tell me, they check me out and stuff like that. Anyway, I broke my scapula. Okay.
Wow.
But the second half, Buckus he was calling them names out there that I can't call in here because he was beating the backup fullback. He was beating him, and he was really talking big time stuff out there. But he did talk about retirement in that Saturday's paper. Yeah. So that's my Buckus story.
All right.
Hey, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I understand that the party, the band is coming. And
before the band comes, we are going to sing because we have cake for you. And we're going to, then everybody can dance. We're going to sing.
Our plan just got
if we start dancing the way he was getting ready to have us dance, so we're going to have you guys actually stand and we're going to sing happy birthday. And then after we sing happy birthday, the band is going to kick it up. And for my dad, I want you to take somebody with you, and we are going to all dance a dance with him. That's what we're going to do.
Everybody.
Everybody is going to get it.
We got to shake it up, brother.